Honorable Minister for Agriculture, colleagues, friends, partners of AFSA, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. AFSA must be a very lucky organization. Why do I say that? When we started here on Tuesday, the government was in the house, represented by the first Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. And we thought the government walked away on us, but the government has walked back in the person of the Minister for Agriculture. And the Ministry of Agriculture is actually where the rubber meets the road, because AFSA is about agriculture, agroecology, food sovereignty. So we are very honored to have the minister with us. And I say, because like I said on Tuesday, in most of our meetings, we have hardly had very high level government personnel joining us and showing that they are committed and they understand what AFSA stands for. That's something that we should be grateful about. And I would want us to not clapping the Kenya side, but do the way you like, so long as it is very noisy, yeah? So that the minister knows that we appreciate their hospitality in what we call the Pearl of Africa. So please join me in doing that. The second reason I'm saying that AFSA must be a very lucky organization is that at the very top of Uganda governance, His Excellency the President is already a convert to agroecology, to food sovereignty. Because recently, like I think this has been quoted a number of times, he advised Uganda citizens, and I believe Africans at large, not to starve, because the president of Russia has put in his army in Ukraine where grain is grown. And advised us, he used the word cassava, not only that you go and eat cassava, but that was a representation of African indigenous foods, what some people call orphan crops or neglected crops. And AFSA is on the right track to ensuring that we eat healthily and we maintain healthy soils and healthy environment. Finally, Honorable Minister, the past and the future is agroecology. The problem is with the present. And we are the present. We were not there in the past. We don't know whether we shall be there in the future. So we are the problem. And we must facilitate transition to agroecology, because like I said, agroecology was the past and agroecology is the future. And we know that with that, we shall bring Africa back to where we were and where we should be. So with not much ado, I want you to join me in welcoming the minister to give us his words of wisdom.
Allow me, on behalf of the government of Uganda, to welcome you all. The overall objective of the convening is to provide space for agroecological like-minded actors to deliberate and shape the direction of agroecological entrepreneurship and territorial markets in Africa for increased investment and policy reforms. What I know is that I myself am agroecologically minded. Uganda as a country has originally been agroecologically minded, but without knowing. And they've been so long before the concept of agroecology was first written about. The traditional practices here have always been mixing poultry, animal husbandry, crop, beekeeping, herbal medicine, crop rotation, intercropping, agroforestry, name it, without any prescriptions from outside their community. This tradition was being passed from generation to generation. There's a lady that was here, I think Judith, who talked about this. And I would not be wrong if I said that agroecology has always been our culture as Ugandans. And that's why the chair said the past has been agroecological and the future is agroecological. So the problem is with us now. Unfortunately, the institutions that culture have been finding their way into our communities over time. And this has led to the dilution of our age-old cultures that His Excellency, the President of Uganda, talked about recently. It was so embarrassing that some people, some sections of the population thought that the president was not being sympathetic to them by saying that we shouldn't starve. We shouldn't starve. We should use what we have and what we have always used for our own survival. To me, the recent articulation of agroecology as the approach of choice for design and management of food and agricultural systems is a rebirth of our culture. Actually, I was surprised recently while visiting the United Kingdom when one of my hosts requested me to champion the introduction of agroecology in Uganda. I accepted the request, but on a condition. I told him to rephrase his request. I told him to request me to champion the rebirth of agroecology in Uganda. And when he did, I accepted to be a champion. So I'm part of you. I'm part of you. Indeed, when I received your invitation to close this convening, I accepted because I perceived it as a God-sent opportunity for me to reassert my commitment to the cause of this very convening. And immediately I received the invitation, I took a decision that I'm going to speak what I know. I was given a speech, but I've not used it. I've decided to speak what I know, in line with what you have just said here. However, I tried to familiarize myself with some of the concepts surrounding agroecology. And I pleasantly learned that unlike other approaches to sustainable development, agroecology is based on a bottom-up and territorial processes, helping to deliver contextualized solutions. I want to repeat that. contextualized solutions to local problems, no importations, no prescriptions. I also learned that agroecological innovations are based on co-creation of knowledge, combining science with tradition, as well as practical and local knowledge of producers. And that agroecological technologies tend to empower producers and communities, especially women and youth, as key agents of change. Having read that, I was convinced that that's the right path. And I was convinced that the only missing link for me and for you is, one, to have our leaders across Africa aligning national policies, strategies, and programs with the agroecological agenda. And two, to mobilize the political voice in mobilizing and bring together the population and preparing the population for the transition from agroecology to agroecology. You know, I asked the general coordinator that you are transiting to agroecology from where? But I'm now saying that the missing link is for you to enlist the voice of politicians in preparing the population to transit to agroecology. Number three, the other missing link is for us to mobilize government to support agroecological entrepreneurs. And with that in mind, I want to say that on behalf of the government of Uganda, I assure you that the three areas mentioned as the missing link will be supported by my government, by our government, the government of Uganda. And I commit myself to be the champion in linking you to the government of Uganda. As I conclude, it is my sincere hope that the commitments read out here by Judith will translate into action. And we want to see the agroecological movement another step next time you convene. I thank the organizers. I thank the funders. I thank you, distinguished participants, for committing your very valuable resources, time, money, and otherwise, and attending this convening. Before I declare the convening closed, allow me to give a message to those that are coming from outside Uganda. The message is that don't go away in a hurry. Uganda is the pearl of Africa. Enjoy it. Enjoy the security, enjoy the gift of nature. Uganda is gifted by nature. in all ways. I was pleased to learn that the general coordinator at one time stayed in Chibale Forest for a month. Chibale Forest is Eden on earth. It's Eden in Uganda. And I was also pleased to learn from the general coordinator that when he came here long ago in the 90s, as he went back home, his description of Uganda was that Uganda is heaven on earth. So please stay around for some time and enjoy the beauty and the gift of nature. With those few words, I take this singular honor to declare this convening closed. Thank you very much.